Good morning to all. Myself, Khushbu Bhalodia, Assistant Professor, Chemical Engineering Department, LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. My subject is Green Technology and Sustainable Development. In a previous lecture of Green Chemistry and Sustainable Development, we have covered green oxidation and photochemical reaction. Now in this session, we will cover microwave assisted reaction. All this green oxidation, photochemical reaction, microwave assisted reaction and ultrasound reaction comes under the category of green reaction, or I can say green technology. So first we'll see what are the microwaves. Microwaves are a combination of electromagnetic waves. So microwave radiations are electromagnetic waves. In a spectrum, microwave lies in between the infrared and radio waves. You can see in this image that microwave lies in between the infrared and radio waves. So microwave energy consists of two kind of field. One is electric field and another one is a magnetic field. Out of these two field, electric field is responsible for the heating purpose. So what is actually happening in microwave assisted reaction? Our reactant, or I can say solvent or a solute, which absorb the microwave and achieve a certain reaction temperature, which leads towards the formation of our desired product. So first, due to the ability of some components which are solids or liquid, which transfer the electromagnetic energy into heat, so microwave radiations are widely used under the category of green chemistry. So all the component does not absorb the microwave. Some components are polar in nature, some components are poor absorber, or I can say less polar in nature, or high crystalline structure which does not absorb the microwave radiation, right? So the ability of microwave reactions, that is mainly depends on our properties of reactant, or I can say ability to absorb our reactant, right? So the magnitude of the energy transfer depends on the dielectric property of molecule. As I said, the energy transfer in a microwave reaction is mainly depends on the dielectric properties of molecule. Component with high dielectric constant field tends to absorb microwave energy, whereas less polar substance, or I can say highly ordered crystalline structure, we are very poor to the microwave absorption. So in this microwave reaction, a selection of our material or selection of reactant is very important, or I can say microwave reaction is very selective in nature. Microwave energy is says as it's non-ionizing. That means here it only provides the thermal activation to our molecule. So microwave energy is non-ionizing and thus does not change the molecular structure, but it only provides the thermal activation to the reactant. Now we will see the mechanism of behind this microwave heating. All the material, as I said earlier, are not susceptible to microwave heating, as the response of various material towards the microwave radiation is very different. We have three categories of reactant. One is transparent to microwave, example is sulfur. Second category, which reflects the microwave, say for example copper kind of material. And third is which absorbs the microwave, example is water. So there are mainly three mechanisms happening for the microwave heating, right? First one is the dipolar polarization, second one is the conduction mechanism, and third one is the interfacial polarization. In a dipolar polarization, heating is mainly due to the polar moment of our substance. In a conduction mechanism, heat is mainly due to the resistance of current, and in interfacial polarization, which is combination of these two, dipolar and conduction. So first we will see the dipolar polarization. So in a briefly, if I can say, in a dipolar polarization, a polar substance when it's irradiated with microwave, right? So there is a change in orientation of dipole, right? Because of this electric field, a dipole which change orientation, right? So it tries to reorient itself because of this electric field. So in this process there is a friction taking place between the molecules, and this friction result in the formation of energy in terms of heat. So what is actually happening? We see a molecule is infrared. When microwave, it aligns itself with the applied field, right? Say for example, when a molecule is irradiated with a microwave, so in that it aligns itself towards the microwave field, right? But what is happening? Because of the rapidly changing in the electric field, there is a orientation of dipoles take place, and this leads towards a dipole that is continuously attempts to align itself towards the changing field, towards the changing electric field, and because of that there is a friction happening between the molecule, and this leads towards the formation of energy, and the friction between the moving molecule which leads in the heating. Now this will be very clear, I think, from this example. This is the image of dipolar polarization and conduction mechanism. If you see, in a dipolar polarization, there is a dipole which try to reorient itself towards the continuously changing the electric field of our microwave, and because of this there is a friction of molecule take place, and this friction of molecule which leads towards the generation of energy, which leads towards the generation of heating, right? Another mechanism is in a conduction mechanism. So in a conduction mechanism, what is actually happening? There are free ions or ionic species are present, and right, and that ionic species try to reorient themselves towards the fast changing field, right? And because of that there will be a superheating take place. So if there are free ions or ionic species which is present in a substance which is being heated, so this electric field generates the ionic motion and try to reorient itself towards the fast changing field. So what is actually happening in conduction mechanism? There is a formation of a current take place due to the electric field, right? To resist that electric field, ions is try to resist that electric field, and because of this resistance in electric field, it try to generate a heating, and this is known as a superheating, and because of this there is a achievement of certain reaction temperature in microwave reaction. So you can see here in this figure a conduction mechanism is taking place where ions are susceptible towards a faster changing the electric field, right? Now we will see what are the difference between microwave heating and traditional heating, or I can say conventional heating. Now there are many advantages of microwave heating. How we can say? Let us take example of conventional heating. So what is actually happening in conventional heating? Conventional heating is mainly happening inside our I can say reactor, or I can say a wall of reactor. So first a whole of reactor is heated up, and that energy that reactor of whole transfer to our reaction medium, right? So there is a transfer of energy from the outer layer to the inner layer, right? So there is a very high temperature at the outside of the reactor, and slowly a heat is transferred towards our reaction medium. But what is actually happening in microwave heating? In a microwave heating, a core of our reaction medium first gets heated. That means a molecules first absorbs the energy. Molecules of our reaction medium absorbs the energy. So outer layer of our vessels, or I can say surrounding of our vessel, there is a less heat formation, and inside our reaction medium there is a higher heat formation is there. You can say clearly from this figure number 2 that there is a heat flow and there is a mass flow. So in a conventional heating, heat flow is from outer to inner and mass flow is from inner to outer, right? So you can see at the outer part there is a higher temperature as compared to inner part. You can see pink, or I can say reddish portion which shows the higher temperature, and blue portion shows the lower temperature. So opposite to that, in a microwave heating, what is happening? A heat flow is from inside to outside, right? So therefore inside reaction temperature is higher as compared to outside reaction temperature, but mass flow which is happening, right, align with that heat flow from the inside to outside. So you can say along with the heat flow, direction of mass flow is also towards the same. That means there is a less wastage of energy, and a reaction temperature can be achieved very quickly in microwave reaction, whereas in a conventional heating system, to achieve a certain reaction temperature, it will require a longer period of time. And moreover that, there is also wastage of energy take place. How? Because first whole of our reaction is heated up and then it transfers its energy, right? So this is a comparison of microwave heating versus traditional heating. So in a conventional heating, as I said, first heat is applied to the outer layer, whereas in a microwave heating, first heat is applied towards the core. Conventional heating is very slow, right, because it will require a time to achieve a certain reaction temperature, where microwave heating is very fast. So we can achieve a very high reaction temperature within a shorter period of time. So it consumes a lower energy. So energy requirement will be very lower. Whereas in a conventional heating, a huge footprint is requirement, or I can say large area is requirement. Whereas in a microwave heating, you can control those requirements. And moreover that, one biggest advantage of microwave heating versus conventional heating is that in a conventional heating, a source of heat is mainly a fossil fuel, or I can say petroleum based product, or natural gas, or those kind of components are there. But in a microwave heating, electric energy is requirement, right? But those production of electric energy can be generated by the renewable energy sources. So for example, you are getting in a microwave energy, the electric energy is requirement. So you can produce that electric energy by using the solar energy, by using the wind energy, or by using the biomass. So by this way, microwave assisted reaction leads towards the greener production, or towards the generation of greener product. This is a comparison of conventional heating versus microwave heating. Simply you can say, in a conventional heating, first core of our reactor is get heated and that transfer its energy towards our reactant. But in a microwave heating, first our reactant itself is being heated, right? As I said, microwave heating, in a mechanism we've seen that microwave heating is mainly responsible for the dipolar polarization moment and the conduction mechanism, right? So this was regarding the microwave assisted reaction. We have seen the mechanism of microwave heating, and then we have seen the comparison of microwave heating with the traditional heating, or I can say conventional heating. In this is regarding the today's session of microwave assisted reaction. In this next session, we will see what are the benefits of microwave assisted reaction along with the industrial example of microwave assisted reaction. Thank you so much.